12 stands for local news. And now, from Arizona's #1 choice for local news, this is 12 News at 10.
I kept writing and calling and just paying, and I was just disgusted because I couldn't speak to anyone.
Shirley is hearing impaired and lives on Social Security. She says her problems with Capital One started when her check arrived one day after her bill was due, so she tried to get her due date changed.
I'm being charged a lot of charges. I only asked them to delay my closing dates because I could pay on time, and I've been ignored.
Since 1996, Shirley's made $20 payments, but because of those late and over-limit fees, her balance never went down. She says she's made dozens of calls and written letters, but got no response.
And I'm still owing $1,200. The whole bill to begin with was only not even $300.
After Shirley was hospitalized a year ago, her daughter Nancy found out about the problem with Capital One.
Well, he basically in so many words told me that, if I was a good daughter, I would take care of this for her.
Nancy did help her mom by calling 12 for Action. We called Capital One and they immediately took care of Shirley's problem. They told us, quote, "We took a number of things into account. Her individual history as a customer, the number of good faith attempts she made, the principal balance, her personal circumstance, and we decided to settle the account for what she has paid us."
It means the world to me when I can see that my mother is not so upset and stressed about this. I mean, it takes the pressure off of her. I'm incredibly grateful.
Between construction delays and unexpected growth, the Tolleson Elementary District in the West Valley is running out of room, but they found one solution to give students some space.
Some days it's really good, some days it's a zoo.
Teacher Abby Perry has her hands full. 35 seventh graders, 35 hands in the air, 35 children who need her.
It's difficult to focus the instruction so that everybody gets what their needs.
The Tolleson district doesn't want classes to be so big, but right now there's no choice. This dry patch of land was supposed to be Shealy Farms Elementary by now, but construction delays derailed the best laid plans. So in the meantime,
we've got two schools sharing one campus.
And this campus is cramped. The music teacher moved to the weight room. Sounds from the gym next door sets the beat.
Literally, the art teacher has all of her equipment on a cart, and she does not have a room to call her own.
To ease the crunch, the school will rent classrooms from the church next door.
We have a back gate, and it's about 20 feet to the entrance to the classrooms.
It's close enough for the kids to go back and forth for lunch and library time, and welcome relief for Abby Perry.
Our class sizes will go down to like 22 or 23, so I think it's going to be a huge help.
The State School Facilities Board is paying $2,000 a month to rent the classrooms. 12 News, the Arizona Republic, and azcentral.com want you to tell us how to build your perfect school. Call 602-257-6563 or log on to azcentral.com to get involved.
From the time I was probably younger than you, maybe starting when I was 11 or 12 years old, I collected major news headlines. And I still have them in my house, going back to the 1950s.
This is really the first major disaster that we've experienced. I mean, during the Gulf of War, we were all so young, we never really remembered anything about it. So it was really a shock to me.
I couldn't believe my eyes.
It was unbelievable.
Terror. It was a jet.
It was the Today Show, and I just thought that they were showing a scene from Independence Day, and then I looked and it was New York City, and so I thought it was Godzilla, but then my mom was like, no.
After you got over that initial feeling of shock and disbelief, how did you feel?
I kind of felt angry that they would do this to our country and just demolish some of the most famous landmarks.
It's hard to believe that there are people out there that want to do that. And to them, it's one of the greatest rewards to do this.
One boy told me last hour almost everybody on his block had a flag out.
I just felt like as the night went on, I got this feeling sort of numbness because I'd seen the same footage over and over again, and it just became less and less real to me.
Ever since the Trade Center disaster, Americans have been donating money, food, clothing. Now a Scottsdale executive says Wall Street needs our help. And with so many signs pointing down, he thinks he has a way to keep the markets up. When the opening bell rings the markets back to life tomorrow morning,
Let me see if they'll let me go to Marketplace.
Bo Calvert wants Americans to rush to Wall Street's defense.
Tuesday was kind of the first attack on the World Trade Center and the Pentagon, and we were talking about how the second attack is going to happen Monday morning.
And the best defense, he says, is investing tomorrow. $100, 100 shares, through a broker or online.
If we can get enough people to buy stock in and not panic sell, it'd be great to finish with an up market tomorrow.
The battle cry for a so-called Patriot rally is being heard all over the internet.
It never even opened.
One money manager says the market's 4-day layoff will also help the cause.
The positive reaction we've seen from Americans to this event in a constructive way will help the markets act fairly well.
And when that ticker rolls again, Bo Calvert says he'll be on the front lines, sending a message to Wall Street's attackers.
My plan is to buy stock each day next week. And the hope is by the end of next week, the market's up and we can show the terrorists that this won't have an effect on us.
For 12 News, Graham Resnick of the Arizona Republic.
In some ways, John McCain was just a teacher today.
Who is Osama bin Laden?
But standing under the banners of school champions, McCain was also a motivator.
I promise you, the United States of America will win, and we will never allow this thing to happen again.
For the kids and the teachers, it was important to hear history as it's being made and to understand what their part will be.
We do not, I repeat, need to reinstitute the draft because we don't need a huge army of a number of millions of men and women.
Which was both good news and bad.
That's what scares me, is that we have weapons, and that the United States has weapons, and the terrorists have weapons, so weapons of mass destruction, that don't need large manpowers.
I learned a lot in that. I mean, I didn't know much about what is going on, and I'm glad he came and spoke to us.
And that did help to calm fears.
I'd say I was, because I thought we were just going to go in there and just bomb everybody, and I was sort of relieved a little bit from that, and I think the rest of my school was as well.
Thanks again, Senator. The answers may change, but for now, the answers they have help. Rick DeBrule, 12 News.
A simple sign on the jar says it all. Valley kids pitch in their pennies, making a difference 2 cents at a time.
For people that died. We want to help the people that were in that those two planes crashed into each other. This is all our pennies.
And they're adding up.
Couple, 3, 2, 4, I think $6, $7.
Allowance money, donations from parents.
From my house.
Even their own savings. Students dig deep to reach out to kids they've never even met.
Well, since I heard what happened, I just felt like it was something right and something very nice.
And they want kids from New York to know they've got friends here in Phoenix.
We're sending money from the school, and we're giving so they can rebuild their states and not to be scared.
There's a lot of people that feel like we've gotten the shaft in the South.
Saguaro High near Hayden and McDonald is showing its age. When it rains, a foot of water fills the locker room. Cracked steps and sidewalks are dangerous.
I mean, they just complain that the gym has leaked and ruined the floor a couple of times.
Marianne Bloom runs the parents group at Saguaro. She says North versus South animosity is nothing new.
People in the South, a lot of people in the South that I talk to say that they get everything, we get nothing.
But the man in charge of Scottsdale's school building says that's not true.
It's more a function of when schools were built and the standards that were in place at the time.
But all the older schools are in the South, like Coronado High, built in 1961. The building is far from the best, with exposed wires, cracks in the walls, and lights so old you can't buy parts to fix them.
The real Southern schools have really been neglected.
While the district put millions into northern schools like Desert Mountain.
Desert Mountain's a lot bigger, a lot nicer.
John Schild lives near Desert Mountain, but goes to Saguaro. Because of growth, Desert Mountain is overflowing, forcing some of its students to commute 30 minutes south, past 2 high schools, to Saguaro.
If you want to do an extracurricular activity after school, you have to make sure you have a ride every day.
John's mom says it just goes to show no one gets what they should.
We've basically all gotten different but equally shoddy treatment.
Scottsdale's facilities director hopes if the bond passes, the district can do the work schools need and restore public trust. 12 News will bring you the results of that election tomorrow and see how other districts deal with similar problems on the education page of Wednesday's Arizona Republic. And kids seem to want it all. No wonder a trip down the toy aisle can be dangerous.
I want this. I want that.
But Ahwatukee mom, Aileen Raskin, has some tricks up her sleeve.
Well, let's think about it for Christmas, okay?
And she tells her 3 girls what they're shopping for before they leave home.
And we're going to get peanut butter and get napkins and milk.
If that doesn't work, don't be afraid to say no.
And it's very hard to be firm these days when you see everybody else having all these things.
I think it's important for them to be disappointed, to learn how to deal with that, know that they're not going to get everything that they want.
Sibling squabbles are your chance to teach children how to settle arguments.
What do you say?
Sorry. Sorry.
As for tantrums, all children have them. It seems easier to give in, but at home, ignore it. In public, leave.
It's very inconvenient to leave a restaurant with food and shoving your food in a box and so forth and having to leave. But if you leave, that says to the kids something.
Being consistent pays off.
Slowly, like we've really figured out that if you follow through the first time, then there's not as many instances of acting up.
Nobody said raising unspoiled kids would be easy.
It takes practice, practice, practice.
But practice makes perfect.
I love them.
Parents can teach children generosity by having them donate toys and clothes to people in need. And don't forget to take time for yourself. Children need to know they're not the only ones who matter. There's more advice on azcentral.com.
Men would not talk about it because a lot of men won't accept the fact that they could have breast cancer.
But in fact, 2,000 men die of breast cancer every year. Alan found a lump in his right breast almost 2 years ago. A year later, another lump in his left breast. Both were cancerous tumors and required immediate surgery.
Nobody's too macho not to check themselves while they're in the shower. It's something that I would recommend to every person, man or woman, to do, either on a weekly or monthly basis.
Alan found both lumps himself and says he started doing self-exams because of our Buddy Check 12 program, a program he owes everything to.
Well, it's meant my life, I guess. I mean, I think it meant my life. I mean, if I let it go, no telling what would have happened to me.
At first glance, this 4th grade class looks like any other.
An adjective describes the noun.
You soon realize it's not.
On your mark, get set, go.
This teacher is why.
I'm allowing them to explore and teach themselves.
Peg Lashinsky is nationally board certified. She spent a year putting together portfolios, videotapes, and lessons, and preparing for a 6-hour exam.
It was difficult, too, from a personal standpoint because it also focused on you. And normally we're looking at the children. So this
but she says ultimately it is about children.
If a child's in a classroom with a board certified teacher, you really are looking at a teacher who knows how to shift her performance in order to pull the most out of each student.
There's little research on the benefits to students, but educators at ASU, which helps teachers get certified, say the work and the $2,300 fee are well worth it.
And even good teachers come back saying that they are much, much better than they were. But with better instruction comes better learning.
It's still doing the best you can do, and that's what we're asking of our students, so we shouldn't ask anything less of ourselves. You may open it now. It kind of made me realize again why I became a teacher. You kind of get on that track of every day doing the same thing, and it brought the spark back.
There are 102 board-certified teachers in Arizona. Some districts give them raises or help them with the application fee, but the state provides no incentives. There's more about how teachers become board-certified on azcentral.com and in tomorrow morning's Arizona Republic.
Second woodwind row, let's go.
Every row is straight.
Cadence.
Every instrument.
Here we go.
Tune. And every foot is in step, getting legs and arms
About 30 pounds.
in shape for the 3-mile march down Central Avenue.
Been practicing drill, practicing flag work.
Hour a day at least.
The perfect training ground is just across the street,
We march around the neighborhoods.
much to their audience's delight.
I like the trombone.
It feels really good for them to watch us.
Wow, I just want to follow them and listen to them.
The band's been preparing for the parade for a year, working hard to be ready without burning out,
We try to have some fun with it.
even making a little fun of their director.
Step back, do it again. Get on the same page, stop fighting. Here we go.
But they're glad to see the hard work pays off.
We're representing Arizona, and it's a really cool thing to be doing.
It's exciting.
It makes me feel like our band's like special.
The Fiesta Bowl Parade is Saturday at 11 a.m. It rolls on Central Avenue from Montebello to Thomas. And read about some more of the Valley's best bands on the education page of tomorrow's Arizona Republic.
But here's what I want you to do right now. Those of you that raise your hands, I want you to forget everything you've ever learned about the Stranger Danger program.
Frank Lambert knows someday one of these kids may need help, and their only hope will be a stranger.
Did you hear what she said to me? She said, "Can you help me? Can you help me?" We as parents sometimes teach you to be too polite. What we want to teach you here is to be demanding. Either grab my leg, my arm, whatever. Don't let go. Okay. Hold on tight, hold on tight.
Lambert takes this program to schools around the valley, teaching some things you might not think children would need to practice, like screaming.
Screaming is a learned behavior. It's a learned behavior. It's not something you do naturally.
He tells kids if someone grabs you, hang on tight to something big.
Hold on tight. Perfect. You see what she's doing? Chances are I'm going to get tired of struggling with Kaylee.
No, that you're not. Escape School also offers a video that tells things like what a child could do in a kidnapper's car.
Now do both arms for me.
Lambert also teaches how to break a kidnapper's hold.
You're right. Perfect. What he's effectively doing is twisting my hand.
After the program, I tested some kids to see what they'd learn.
What if I had grabbed you like this?
It's a skill he might have to use someday.
Watashi wa en pizza desu. That's my favorite saying. It means I'm a pencil.
Tim Nelson takes Japanese at Mesquite High in Gilbert, one of a handful of schools teaching it, to help students get a leg up in the business world.
Given the fact that Japan is the second largest economic power, the more languages you have, the better prepared you'll be and the better job you can get.
That's why schools are putting more emphasis on foreign language. Most require it for graduation, but the state does not. It would like to see teachers use foreign language in all their classes.
If you're going to teach students writing or oral presentation skills or even mathematics, you do try to do it in Japanese and you get or another foreign language, you get a whole new level of attention then.
Students pay close attention in this American Sign Language class at Mesquite. They like it because it's something different. And like any language, it opens doors.
It's better than anything else because it's a lot of more interacting with each other, I think.
To connect with other people that like you otherwise wouldn't if you had, because there's a language barrier. And you won't get to know them unless you can communicate with them.
Teachers say they think Arizona students get enough exposure to foreign languages to be competitive, but schools should start teaching them earlier because it's easier for young children to learn languages.
5, 4, 3. Good morning, KMS. We're going to start off today's news with some weather.
Add some splashy graphics, high-tech equipment, and music. And you've got KMS TV.
It's a lot of hard work. It may look easy on TV, but it's hard. Andy Gardetto pitched a no-hitter for all 6 innings.
From sports highlights to after-school activities, this is the next generation of morning announcements.
We also need students and staff to come walk with us Saturday, April 6th.
8th graders apply for a spot on the KMS TV crew and learn how to do it all.
I open the graphics, and so Alex can display them up there.
I pretty much put the show all together.
With just a little help from their teacher.
I got training in this.
Broadcasting the day's top news takes effort. Directors, cameramen, anchors, everyone comes in an hour early every day to make sure the show is just right.
We mess up a lot, but we're a pretty good team. We all work together really well.
And for some, this might be a step towards something bigger.
Weather girl. Reporter, I don't know.
Or not.
TV production is really hard. I don't think I'm going to do it when I'm older.
Faye Fredericks, 12 News.
We lived in these wickiups. And
Hualapai tribe member Joe Powski painted this mural to tell the story of his people.
They put mud on their hair, and it keeps insects from biting them.
It hangs at the Creative Cultural Center. You can see how the Hualapai lived and nearly died.
We were taken prisoner of wars. We were marched from Kingman to La Paz.
But the Hualapai survived, and Joe says this mural is here both to teach and to inspire.
All our chiefs and our important people that contribute to the tribe are put here. I can put them up, you know, and gives you a little pride in some of your tribal members, you know, and their accomplishments.
The center also hosts dancers from the Chumawavy tribe across the lake in California. Young people learn the traditional movements and pass on the culture to all who visit.
They'll shoot paintball guns, rappel, and get all wet in the bucket brigade. The members of Team Phoenix are confident they can tackle every challenge. They've watched tapes of the course and sized up the competition. 2 police officers and 2 firefighters each from Newark, Sacramento, Worcester, Detroit, Phoenix, St. Louis, New Orleans, and Philadelphia are vying for the title of today's bravest and finest.
If you take a look at the rest of my team here, I think they're a bunch of studs, so I think we'll do all right.
The studs are Scotty Johnson, a 13-year veteran of the Phoenix Police Department and part of the SWAT team. Lisa Jones has been with Phoenix Fire for 9 years. She's also a Division I and WNBA basketball referee. Miguel Hernandez is a Phoenix firefighter and has been with the department for 2 years. He and his brother also run a landscaping company.
Threat.
And police officer David Norman has spent 5 years on the force, working in Maryvale and at City Hall.